Hello. Thank you all so much for being here. Just waiting for everybody to filter in from the waiting room to the attendees panel. So I will start in just a couple of minutes. Really, really excited to be talking to you all. Really excited for such a great turnout and really excited for the opportunity to be here. So my name is Maya Novak Herzog. I am the head of growth and partnerships at an organization called Lumiere. My friends and colleagues, Felipe of Ladder and Tyler of Veritas, will be here later to tell you about their organizations. But I'm just going to kick us off and start us off by talking a little bit about Lumiere. Um, so if you have questions, there is a very handy Q&A function that comes with these webinars that you are totally welcome to use. I am going to probably take Q&A after I present. So if you will just put your questions in the Q&A function, that would be ideal, and I will get to those as soon as I can. So I want to just tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Maya Novak Herzog. I am a PhD candidate at Northwestern University. Here's a photo of our beautiful campus. This is a photo in the summer. Right now it's winter and it's cold. But here is a photo of our beautiful campus, and I am finishing up my PhD at Northwestern University. So here is a photo of me doing some research. Obviously, I'm getting my PhD. Research is something that's very important to me. I started out at Lumiere, which is the organization I'm going to tell you about today. I started out at Lumiere as a mentor. And so in my second year of graduate school, I was contacted by one of the founders of Lumiere, who basically said, we would love for you to mentor some of our students in research. And I thought that sounded like a great idea. I love working with students. And so that is how I started with the organization. I'm in the social sciences. That is my field of research. And so I have worked with many of our students in the social sciences on projects ranging from government, law, philosophy, some sociology, psychology. So that is a little bit about me. I love the organization so much that I have had the opportunity to be here for the past 4 years and move on to this larger role, which is really great. All right, so what do we actually do at Lumiere? That is a great question. So we are a one-on-one research organization that pairs high school students and sometimes younger, which I'll talk about, with PhD candidates. And so a student comes to us with some area of research, whether that be in the hard sciences, social sciences, or humanities, and we pair them with a PhD candidate in that field. So that's the number one thing that we do. The second thing that we do is definitely help students stand out in the admissions process. So most of the students that do our program with us are, in fact, looking to make themselves stand out in college applications. That is just a fact, and so we know that. We are totally happy to work with students that are looking to pursue those types of opportunities. One of the main things students want to do with us is build relationships with PhD researchers from top universities. So all of our mentors are from the top universities in the US, as well as Oxford and Cambridge. And so as a high school student, having the opportunity to pair with somebody like that, to work with someone like that, I think is a really special thing. And something that I know I did not have the opportunity to do in high school. And so I think that is really fantastic. And I know I said I wasn't going to answer questions live, but there is this question here that says, do you accept recent high school grads? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So our sort of age bottom is that we want to work with anyone in high school However, we don't have an age limit. So that is to say that we have had students do our program that are interested in getting their master's. We've had students do this program that are interested in getting their PhDs, med school, business school, right? There's truly so many opportunities for students or just people in all walks of life. If you are younger than in high school, there is an option for you called the Junior Explorer program. And so I will talk about that in a little bit, but if you know someone that's not in high school or you're not in high school, you can do our program. It's just a little bit different. And so I'll tell you what that looks like in a little bit. Okay, the last thing that all students who do our program get is UC San Diego Extension credit. So what does that actually mean? That means that once you are done with the Lumiere Research Scholar program, any of the programs that you do, you receive a transcript from UC San Diego Extension. Now, why is this important? Why is this useful? Well, a lot of students like to be able to submit a college transcript when they're submitting their other transcripts when they're applying to college. And so when you have the UC San Diego Extension, you literally have a transcript from a college that you can submit, and you can say, look, I've already done some college level work. So that I think is one of the real benefits of receiving that credit. Okay, so us by the numbers, again, we are a one-on-one, fully virtual research program, and we pair PhD candidates with high school students. We have had so many wonderful students apply to our program, do our program, and we've also had so many wonderful mentors who work with us. So at this point, we like to say that we have more mentors that are sort of on the back burner than students who do the program. And there's really not an area of research that's too niche because we have so many mentors to work with. We've worked with students in 62 different countries, and we've given out almost $400,000 in financial aid. So if you are someone who cannot afford this program, then this is absolutely something you should still apply to, right? Like, we want to work with everybody regardless of financial need. And I'll talk a little bit more about the financial aid program in a bit. Okay, so available areas for research. I want to be really clear that these areas up on the board, up on the slides, are only some of the available areas for research. Sometimes students will see this and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm interested in something completely different. Can I not do a program with you? But the answer is that you can totally do a program with us. These are just some of the most popular areas of research for you to see. So in the STEM, we have data science, biology, computer science, mathematics, architecture, right? All very popular areas. Our most popular area ever is computer science and AI. I'm guessing that's not a surprise to anyone. And then in the humanities and social sciences, my field, right, what I love, we have economics, psychology, business, gender studies, history, sociology, right? Like, so many options for you to do. Once again, these are not the only options, but if you need some examples, these are some good places to start. Okay, so like I mentioned, we have so many mentors that work with us and they are amazing. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm one of those mentors, but our mentors come from all of the Ivy Leagues, UC Berkeley, UCLA, Oxford, Cambridge, MIT, like truly the premier researchers in the world and in the US that are willing to work with you. And I think that's such an amazing opportunity in and of itself. So here are some example mentor profiles. So let's say that you are interested in biological and biomedical sciences. You might be paired with Caitlin, who's at Harvard University, specializing in cancer genetics, CRISPR gene editing, molecular biology. Or maybe you're actually interested in psychology. You might be paired with Praise, who is specializing in clinical psychology, health psychology at UCLA. And then we have Bhargav, Sneha, and Samuel, respectively, at Columbia, Yale, and MIT. So these are photos of actual mentors that actually work with us if you want a better idea of who you might actually be working with. It, I think, can help to actually visualize who's actually here. All right. These are the exact programs that are offered, right? Okay, so we have the individual research program. It's 9 weeks long. You at the end complete a college level research paper. However, you do not publish in this program, right? This is not our publication program. If you are interested in publishing, which just means that you want to write the paper, and then at the end, after you're done writing the paper, you want support submitting to high school or college level journals, you might submit to the Premium Research and Publication Program. So in that program, you are working with a mentor, you'll meet with the mentor 15 times, and during the process, you're also submitting your paper to a publication. If you're not accepted, we hope you're accepted to your first choice, but if you're not accepted, we will work with you to revise the paper and resubmit. And then lastly, for our super motivated students, we have the Lumiere Fellowship, which is a program that is a year long. And in this program, usually it's geared for students who have a super competitive final project in mind. So let's say that you want to really like dig deep into something and submit it to a science fair, but you need a lot of support and you want help through all the multiple rounds of science fair work. Like for example, ISEF Regeneron, you have to submit it to the regional fair, you have to place there, move on to state before you're on to ISEF, then the fellowship program might be for you. Now, I mentioned earlier that if you are not in high school, we also have programs available for you. There is a program called the Junior Explorer Program, which is very similar to Lumiere. However, it is for students in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It is just an abbreviated version of our individual research program, and more of it is sort of structured by the mentor. So instead of coming in and doing your own research and coming up with your own ideas, the mentor provides a lot of the pathways so that it's a little bit easier. It's geared for younger students. So that is an option as well. All right, so we are an application-based program. We require students to fill out an application and then do an interview. What we're looking for students that are academically strong. It's inevitable, right? We will have you submit your grades. We want students who are good communicators. So please respond to your email. I know it's not always easy to do that, but respond to your email, follow up, ambitious and hardworking, curious and proactive, and driven and excited to learn. Here's a couple examples of students who have actually done the program and what they've gone on to do with their paper. So Ojas wrote his paper on exploring the role of humanin as a potential preventative and therapeutic in Alzheimer's disease. He went on to win the MIT Think competition, very prestigious competition. He went on to win it with his Lumiere paper. Alexandra, I think, is a really great example because she wrote her paper on cancer mRNA vaccines as a promising approach to treating luminal A breast cancer. She went on and published in the International Journal of High School Research, and she used her paper to intern at Boston Children's Hospital and Harvard Medical School. Now, a lot of students will ask me, what if I want to work in a wet lab? What if I want to work on research in person? And the answer is that a lot of students are actually able to use their research that they did at Lumiere and use it to help them get into a lab or help them get into an in-person experience. And so while we don't offer in-person programs at Lumiere, many students find that doing our program helps to do that later on. And then for a social sciences example, right, Zanian wrote his paper on what can governments do to encourage environmentally friendly actions, 2 case studies from the seaweed and EV markets. He was published in Cornell University's Undergraduate Economic Review, and he actually used his research to start a small seaweed farm off the waters of Cape Cod. Like, how cool is that? And so those are some examples of students that have actually gone on to do the program. And I see a lot of questions in the Q&A, so just want to stress that I will answer them right after this before I pass to Felipe. All right, so the application timeline. So first you fill out an application online. It is available on our website. All you need to do is type in Lumiere Education and you'll find a link to our application. Shortlisted students will be scheduled for an interview. If you're selected, you'll receive a confirmation, and then we will send you who we think is the best possible mentor match for you, but you will get the final say. So you'll be able to say, okay, this looks great, or actually, I was looking for something a little bit different. If that all works out, you'll start the program. All right. So here is what the program actually looks like. It's 12 weeks of writing the paper with milestones in between, all of these different milestones for what you can do. We make sure that you never get to the end of the program without anything, right? You might need support and different check-ins along the way. So we have students actually submit various things so that they can show that they are keeping up with the requirements so that they don't get to the end and are like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything. So for that reason, right, you have to submit your research question by the end of week 3. You have to submit a research proposal, an outline of the paper, milestones, first draft, rough draft, until you get to the end. And we look over all these things and make sure they're up to standard. So you don't have to worry about not being able to complete it because we'll work with you every step of the way. And if you're interested in the fellowship, it's a bit longer, right? It's a year long. And so it really gives you more time to sort of carve out these interest areas so that you can figure out what you want to do. All right, so upcoming cohorts, I realize here that my dates are wrong, but these give you an idea because the cohorts are very similar for 2025. So our next summer cohort still starts on June 3rd, but June 3rd, 2025, and there are 4 different application deadlines. The first application deadline for summer cohort 1, 2025, is February 9th. So if you want to have guaranteed that we will have a mentor in your field, right, you should apply early. This is especially true if you're interested in an impacted field like computer science or AI. You want to apply as early as possible because we do mentor matching on a first come, first serve basis, and those fields fill up. If you're not sure you want to do the program and you know you're not in an impacted field, like maybe you're interested in history or something that less people do, great fields, just less demand, you have all the way until May to apply. But still, I would just recommend you apply as soon as you know. And then we also have a summer 2 program that starts mid-July. So that's another option if you don't want to start in early June. All right, so every year we interview our students to figure out where they get into college and what they do. And what we found is that our students get into Ivy Leagues every single year. They get into all the best schools. Now, is this because that Lumiere is doing that, or is it because we just always work with like students that are so great and want to do so many things? It's hard to say. But I think this is one motivating factor is that really our students do very well when they're applying to college. Students will mention us in the activities section of their application. They'll write about us in a main or supplemental essay. And then also students can include a letter of recommendation or evaluation from their mentor. We have students who come from all different countries. And like I mentioned, we also give it a significant amount of financial aid each year. I believe we had 300 students do the program totally for free last year. So if you cannot afford the program, I still want you to apply. We work with a significant amount of students for free or on financial aid every year. All right, so I'm just going to end by talking about some amazing students and where they went on to college. So Lily wrote her paper on the standard model of particle physics and how it can be extended to explain dark matter. She got accepted early decision to Princeton, her top choice. Obviously, we're super happy for her. Raya wrote her paper on what were the initial conditions of the universe that permitted the growth of the structures we see today. She was accepted early decision into Penn. Again, really happy for her. And then Kike wrote, how do youth produce self-published media contribute to the spread of misinformation? She was accepted to a whole slew of universities, and she went on to choose Boston University's media science major. So how are we different? We know there's a lot of programs you can do. We prioritize high quality mentorship, individualized topic programs, scholarships, we're data driven, and a deep expertise in publication and competitions. Okay, and so before I pass to Felipe, I'm just going to go over some of your amazing questions. Some of them I'm just going to answer via chat, but for those that I want to answer live, I'm going to do that now before I pass to Felipe. So can we do multiple areas of research in one paper? Yes, you absolutely can. And I would say most of our students are doing work that's intersectional and at the intersection of different fields. And so absolutely, if students want to do computer science and history or biology and AI, like these are all fields that you are totally welcome to explore. And when you fill out your application, you're more than welcome to choose multiple areas of research. Do you have a music program? Yes, we absolutely have mentors in music that would love to work with you. They probably don't get that many students, so I think they'd be really excited and absolutely apply to the program. Is there an application fee? No. I love that about our program. You can apply totally for free. You don't have to pay anything until you're matched with a mentor. Does the research paper include actual experimentation in a lab or collecting actual data? The answer is it depends. And so some students will collect their own data, especially if you're in the social sciences. You can do interviews, survey data, case studies, all of this amazing stuff without actually being in a lab. If you're in the hard sciences, you might do meta-analysis, you might do something that's more like a literature review, you might do a virtual lab, because the one thing we do not do is we do not put students into actual labs. For people who have already been accepted to college, what is the shown benefit for doing what is the benefit of doing a program like this during or after college? I think it depends, but if you want to go to grad school, if you want to do anything after college, I think it looks really good to do research. I think we should always be working on ourselves, always boosting our resumes. I don't think what we should do should be limited to us wanting to apply to college. Which tier did the first three student examples you gave? Oh, yes. So the examples I gave, anyone that published most likely did the premium publication program. They might have done the fellowship, but our fellowship is newer. So I would guess that most of these students actually did the premium research and publication field. Okay. Let me answer a couple more. Yeah, so will I get to know who the mentors are going to be beforehand? So we will actually show you who your mentor is before you have to pay tuition or anything like that. However, we will not give you some to select from, right? So there is a period where you get to agree on the final mentor, but you don't necessarily get to choose. Okay, I'm going to answer the rest of these questions via chat, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm going to pass it off to Felipe now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you guys. You've been so amazing. And if you have an unanswered question, I'm going to answer it in the chat.
Cool. Thanks, Maya. Nice to meet you all. My name is Felipe. I'm with Ladder Internships. So I'm going to run you guys through how the program works. And same as Maya, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, please. And I will get back to as many of them as I can at the end of the presentation, kind of spoken. And then if not, I'll answer them in writing so that we can move on to our next presenter who should be here soon. Okay, so let's get started. But yeah, like I said, any questions, just start dropping them in the chat and I'll get to them at the end. Okay. So why do an internship in high school? The reason to do an internship in high school first is because you can explore a career, right? So we want to pair you with the world's best founders and find out what a real career looks like. You're going to be able to get real world experience understanding what is it actually like to work in a company, right? That's really important because you might say that you want to be pre-med or something like that, but you have no idea what it's like to work in healthcare, for example, or that you want to be a coder, but you have no idea what it's like to actually be a software engineer. So you can get some of that experience and get, that understanding if it makes sense for you or not. You're also going to build a real world project. So you're going to build something that matters. Super important because up until now, most of the things that you guys have done in school have been just for school. But what about things that actually, have a real impact on the world, right? And change things. You're going to have that experience and you're going to be able to write about that, when it comes to college admissions, which is kind of the next point. You're going to showcase a really unique experience that very few people have at the end of the day. And there's going to be a very tangible outcome, right? These aren't just shadowing experiences, they're project-based internships, okay? So you're going to get that experience and you're going to be able to talk about it in your college admissions, and it's going to really set you apart. Lastly, you're going to be able to build your professional network now. Very, very important. Someday you're going to have to ask people for a letter of recommendation. Someday you're going to have to ask for a job or a connection to somebody. Getting connected to really, really important founders at this point in your lives will really benefit you later on. So these are just some of the reasons why you might do an internship in high school, okay? You're going to be able to work with the very best companies. So these aren't the companies right here that I've listed. These aren't the companies that you're going to be working with directly. These are where the founders of the companies, who are your mentors, are coming from. Their companies have been funded by, these venture capital firms. The founders have studied at all of the top schools in the country, and they've worked at some of the biggest, most important companies in the world. These are going to be the people that are mentoring with you, okay? So what fields can you work in? Very common question. As you can see, we have a super wide range of fields. I'm not going to list them all, but I want you to understand that, while we do have plenty of things in traditional business and tech. We also have fashion, environmental science, nonprofit work, all kinds of things. I like to say that we have something for everybody. Don't worry, we're going to send out all of, this whole brochure, all of these slides to you guys at the end of the presentation. So if you don't keep track of everything right now, don't worry, you're going to have it all to look, so you can look at it in your own time. Okay. I want to go through 2 example projects that students have worked on through the program. I'm not going to go through all of them for time's sake because I want to leave time for Tyler, also who's going to run you guys through Veritas, but basically kind of at 2 ends of the spectrum. If we look at number 1, one of our students did a competitor analysis for a health tech company that was focused on scaling nursing homes. So they didn't really have any hard skills, but they were able to do this competitor analysis that helped this health tech company decide if they wanted to scale and move into a new market. Okay. Versus another student that had a lot of technical skills, many years of computer science experience. They created a machine learning model that predicted customer churn for an e-commerce website. 2 very different kinds of projects. But what I want to emphasize here is that we have something for everybody. Okay. So these are some of the host companies and managers that you might be working with. I don't want to spend too much time on these slides because you guys can look through this on your own and there's a lot of information here. I just want to emphasize that they went to some of the best schools in the world, Harvard Business School, Stanford, Cambridge, right? And they worked at really big companies, Microsoft, right? McKinsey, the National Institute of Health. And they're working across a really wide range of different industries, media, healthcare, finance, okay? Same thing here, right? Healthcare, mental health, nonprofit work, right? Harvard, Berkeley, Microsoft, okay? You get the picture. These are the kinds of people that you're going to be working with directly, and they're going to be mentoring you one-on-one throughout the entire process. Okay. In terms of the program timeline, this is an 8-week long program. These are all virtual and primarily asynchronous internships. You're going to be meeting with your mentor for roughly an hour a week. Outside of that, you're going to be working independently for 5 to 10 hours a week on your project. During the 8 weeks, you're going to be meeting with your mentor, like I said, once a week. Okay. And what you're going to be doing is defining your goals, basically checking in, overcoming any obstacles that may come up, checking in on your progress, right? Setting new goals, okay? And you're going to be presenting deliverables. The idea is that by week 8 of the project, of the program, you will have presented a full-on deliverable, a completed project that you worked on from start to finish, okay? So program overview, like we said, it's 8 weeks long. You're going to be working with one company. By the end of the 8 weeks, you will have completed that real world project. So a very tangible thing that you can talk about, right? And that you can show. You're going to have work experience at a top startup and have collaborated with a real team. You're going to receive a letter of completion from the company that you worked with, and you're going to get a letter of recommendation from your mentor at the host company, which you can use for your college admissions process. You can use it for another job, whatever you want. It's an asset that you now have access to. Okay. In terms of the numbers here, right? You're going to be working with your host company 8 different sessions, right? Once per week. You're going to also be meeting with company leadership for 4+ sessions a week. Expected time commitment is 5 to 10 hours a week. You're also going to have program oversight from a ladder program manager. So that's somebody on our end that monitors the relationship to make sure that if there are any obstacles that arise, we can resolve them for you. The goal output is that you're going to have that professional level work project presentation. The cost of the program is just shy of $2,500 for the 8 weeks, but we also offer full need-based financial aid for anybody who can demonstrate need. So we don't want cost to be a blocker for anybody. So if anybody needs financial aid, feel free to apply through the financial aid program. Okay. Cool. So what types of students are we looking for? We're looking for really hardworking students, ambitious students that are excited by their field. We're not necessarily looking for students that have the highest GPA or the highest test scores, right? That's fine. We want to make sure that there's no red flags there, but we really ultimately want to see that you are actually very passionate about the thing that you want to go explore, right? And that you can demonstrate that you're going to put in all of the energy that you can into this, okay? Just to give you an idea of what this looks like in the application process, alumni from our programs go on to some of the best colleges in the world, all right? And these numbers are not even fully updated, but just in some of these last application cycles, we saw acceptances across all the top schools. 85% of students that go through the program mentioned in the activity section, 52% write about it in a supplemental or main essay, right? And 40% of them are using their letter of recommendation. So people are using us a lot for their admissions process and the results are showing, okay? In terms of the application process, all you have to do, very, very simple. First, you log on to ladderinternships.com. You go there. That's our website. There's going to be a giant button there that says apply now. You're going to click that and you're going to fill out the application form. It should take you no longer than a couple of hours to fill out. There's just some short answer questions there. Then we're going to shortlist you for interviews. We're going to do a one-on-one Zoom interview. After that, we're going to send out admissions decisions. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and start the program. That's basically it. You are going to match you with a company, like I said, based on your indicated interests, right? Your background, your goals, everything. Okay. And we get that information from you through the application and through the interview. Okay. Cool. So some testimonials from my interns. Again, I'll let you guys review these on your own. We send out these slides afterwards. But just so you can see, we have students coming from all over the world, Virginia, Vietnam, Michigan, Dubai, okay? So you can be in any country, you can be anywhere in the world, you can be traveling over the summer, it doesn't matter. Anyone can participate in this experience, and you're going to have a really great time, okay? Application deadlines and program dates. So the upcoming application deadline is for the spring. That cohort begins on March 3rd and runs from 8 weeks forward, okay? The application deadline for that is February 9th, so in about 10 days, okay? You can also apply for our summer cohort right now, which begins in June, and the early admission deadline for that is also February 9th. There's other admission deadlines, but it's better to apply early because these are rolling admissions, so spots start to fill up, okay? You can also wait until summer 2 cohort, which is going to be in mid-July if you want to apply then, okay? So those are the upcoming 3 cohorts for the rest of this academic year and through the summer, okay? Cool. So to apply, you guys can't click this link right now because this is a presentation. I'm just sharing my screen, but all you have to do is go to up here, ladderinternships.com. Okay. It's right here too, ladderinternships.com. Giant button there that's going to say apply now. You click that, that takes you right to the application. If you have any questions, please just email us at contact@ladderinternships.com and we're happy to get back to you there. Okay. So I'll answer all of the questions that I got in the Q&A via chat. Okay. So that Tyler can get started on their presentation. Because I want to make sure that we have enough time. And yeah, so thank you guys, everybody. I will get to your questions. I'm just going to answer them, in writing. Okay. So go ahead, Tyler. Feel free to take the reins.
Yeah, thank you so much, Felipe. Thank you for sharing on Ladder's behalf. Hi, everyone. I don't know if you've seen me on the Zoom up until now. I'm so sorry. I made a time zone issue and ended up showing up late. Thank goodness, though, you had 2 awesome presentations to set you up to flow with no awkward time gap as I got started. But thank you again to everyone here and to the National Society of High School Scholars for hosting. I'm going to jump right in to present on Veritas AI. So Veritas AI is a sister program of Lumiere and Ladder. We are similar to how Lumiere is for research and Ladder is for internships, broadly an AI and computer science program for students with a focus on coding, coding-based research and internships, and generally coding-based project opportunities. Our focus is on artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and we work specifically with ambitious middle school and especially high school students to do project-based learning that culminates, as I just briefly mentioned, in research projects, internships, etc. Just a little bit about me. So I am the head of publication and partnership at Veritas. I have the very fun opportunity to work internally with our students on research and publishing and externally talk to amazing students and organizations like I am here through the National Society of High School Scholars. I am myself also a former AI astronomy researcher and just generally a long-standing education nerd. Awesome. So we're all about artificial projects for high school students, as I mentioned. And to start off with a quick welcome, I always like to just introduce the question, what is AI? I mean this very rhetorically, and as a fun opportunity to give you some quick visuals. AI can look like the algorithm behind smart search on your favorite shopping website or on algorithms that inform things like Google or Bing. I can look like cybersecurity facial recognition technology, and it can look like autonomous vehicle, the software driving that vehicle, as well as the hardware itself integrated in. This is all to say that AI is about finding patterns in complex data we often can't find on our own. I like to say that philosophically, AI is all about replicating human reasoning, decision-making intelligence in machines. But the great thing about machines is that they can process millions of data points at a pace that humans can't. And so AI allows us to not only replicate that kind of intelligence and reasoning, but apply it at bigger scales, which is so powerful and so interesting to do. Awesome. So now that I've given you guys a little bit of a TLDR of what is AI, what I like to present is the kinds of projects we've seen students work on as part of our program, or as just to give you an example of what applications AI can be used for. So AI can be used for pretty much any field of study is the first thing I want to say. I know that might sound a bit crazy, and I'm not saying AI should be used in every field of study, but AI is really just at the end of the day a methodology or a toolkit. And so definitively, it can be used in pretty much any area. So we've seen AI used in the finance world for cryptocurrency or stock price forecasting, for investment portfolio management. We've seen AI in medicine for robotic-aided surgery, for things like cancer detection. We've seen AI in astronomy. I already mentioned to y'all that I used it for things myself. We've seen AI be used for social sciences, econ, sociology. You can even use it in things like the humanities subjects or the creative arts, AI for fashion trends analysis. We all know about AI art generators. AI really is just a toolkit meant to replicate human decisioning, reasoning, sometimes even content generation. And so it can be used anywhere that humans do work, which is pretty much every field of study, of course. Awesome. And just one last note on how powerful the world of AI is. There are so many opportunities in the world of careers in AI. Students can become an AI engineer, an AI researcher, an AI product manager. We know now with things like ChatGPT that prompt engineering is a new field of study and field of opportunity for different careers. AI really is, again, just a toolkit that is becoming increasingly relevant, not just in tech, but in the broad kind of world of industry and world of work. And so learning AI can be powerful to either have a dedicated, curated career in AI or to have a career in an adjacent field where you're building or using AI as a driving method. Awesome. That's just a little bit on Veritas AI. Let me talk a little bit about our programs. I know people are putting questions in the chat. Let me take time at the end. I should only be another five to 7 minutes, and I'll use the last couple of minutes to answer the questions in the chat. But to give you guys the nitty gritty of our programs, we have three main kinds of programs. We have one beginner program and two advanced programs. Our beginner programs are our boot camps. These are programs where students are working in classes of 15 with 3 mentors or a 5-to-1 student to mentor ratio over the course of 10 sessions or 10 weeks to build out a group project. They'll learn the fundamentals of AI, coding, machine learning, deep learning, and go on to build this group project. If students come in either having a Python skill set already, or they go through our beginner program, one of our boot camps, they can then go on to one of our advanced programs. So again, you don't have to take our boot camp first if you already know how to code, but if you don't know how to code, learn how to code or do our boot camp first. The first of our 2 advanced programs is our one-on-one research programs. These are very similar to Lumiere, where students are working one-on-one with a person who's not just a research expert, but also an AI practitioner. So someone who knows how to use AI methods to drive original research. You'll work with this researcher to build out your algorithm, your project, your research paper, and push that towards publishing and or science fairs / competitions. Our final program type, our other advanced program, is our AI internship. In this program, students work with a company similar to Ladder that you just learned about in order to build out an AI product or an AI integration. You see that our 2 advanced programs are mirrors of Lumiere and Ladder, but we provide a curated specific focus on how AI can be integrated into these opportunities. The big thing we recommend to students is that if you're a programmer, coder, if you're looking to get your hands technically dirty, we recommend Veritas AI over our sister programs, Lumiere and Ladder, because our programs ensure students always build coding skills. For instance, at Lumiere, a student could do AI research, but it could be a literature review. That's perfectly valuable research. Literature reviews can publish, but for competitions or for higher level publishing, original research is a lot more powerful. And so, yes, you can do that at both programs, but we ensure students do it as a small difference maker. Awesome. And just one final note on for our awesome programs is our awesome mentors. We work with a set of amazing mentors. These are just 6. We work with roughly 150 to 160 mentors right now across a wealth of AI fields. What I mean by that is we have a lot of mentors who work in purely AI. That can be a statistics program, an AI program, a computer science program. And then we have a lot of mentors like Gina and Kurti who are in the biosciences using AI to drive their research. Mentors like Patrick who are engineering and public policy and integrate AI into more public kind of frameworks and concerns. Our mentors bridge AI and pretty much every field of study and are such powerful contributors to our overall students' trajectory and learning. Awesome. So just a couple last slides here on mission criteria and course details. So our upcoming application deadlines are going to be February 23rd for our spring cohort. And I think most pertinently to our webinar with the National Society of High School Scholars today, our first summer deadline will be in March 16th. I just want to make 2 quick notes about our deadlines. One is for the summer 1 deadline of March 16th. We highly recommend you make this deadline for your application if you're looking for a top mentor match and or top company match in one of our 2 advanced programs. And the second note I'll make is, as mentioned, today's supposed to be a summer opportunities fair, but the reason I bring up the spring deadline is many students who are just getting started in this field might want to do a boot camp first before doing this advanced program over the summer. For that, they might do the boot camp in spring as a perfect lead up to the fellowship or internship in the summer. Awesome. That's everything from me. This slide on questions is a perfect time to answer the questions in the chat very quickly. And I'll just go ahead and answer them out loud live now. So someone asks, are students expected to create and program with AI or use existing AI infrastructure to adjust their own projects? We have students working actively on creating, programming, coding AI. We are not really a no-code or low-code program. We are a high-code AI program. Awesome. Next question is, what is the acceptance rate? So we are not specifically aiming to be a selective program, to be very clear. Our internship is our most selective program. It has around a 50% acceptance rate. Our fellowship, because of our prerequisites, has around a 70% acceptance rate. And then our boot camps, we do not view as selective. They are leveled for students from no code to low code. Awesome. How is Veritas different from the Inspired AI program? So the big difference in our research program is that we offer curated publication and science fair support. Inspired AI reports on students who go on to publish and compete in science fairs, but they do not have a dedicated publication and competition team like we have. Also different is that we offer an internship, which I believe Inspired doesn't have at all. Awesome. Someone asks, does Veritas and Ladder collaborate to secure funding for internships? If so, what is the process typically involved? So just to be clear with everyone, and I speak on both Ladder and Veritas for this, students are paying for our program. They are not funded. They are not paid interns. I want to be clear, both our program and Ladder have full financial aid. If students are admitted on full financial aid on a need-based basis, they will participate in the program completely free, but interns are not paid. Students are paying for this opportunity, or at most, they are on financial aid doing the program free. Someone asked, can AI improve itself, or is it a myth? I love that question, but it's too big to ask today. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the answer for now is no. In the future, maybe yes. Is there financial aid for Veritas? Someone asked. As I mentioned, yes, same as Ladder and Lumiere. And finally, someone asked for Veritas, can an individual intern after graduating from high school, or is the program only available to current high school students? Are there specific eligibility criteria for postgraduates? The postgraduate criteria is no different from the high school criteria, and undergrads can absolutely participate in any of our programs. Awesome. So those are all the questions in chat. Margot, I knew we were running up on the clock, so I didn't want to go over. But that's everything from my end. Margot, happy to pass back to you if you have any final words you'd like to say as you close out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I know there were a ton of questions for all three of our presenters tonight. One of the big ones that I got and was able to answer was, will this be available after tonight's call? So yes, this is recorded. It will be available starting tomorrow morning on the NSHSS webinars page on our website. Please feel free to look there. If you registered but were unable to attend live, the recording will be sent to you all in an email. And thank you so much to our three presenters tonight for coming and sharing all of that great information about summer opportunities for our high school students. And I hope that everybody has a great night.